your life were a film, what would it show? Today, I'm sharing with you my own journey of how I left the path in corporate finance to fulfill my dream. And this is just the first edition that I'm creating with the help of AI. You see, I'm learning AI along the way. So it will help me to improve my skills in AI and at the same time be able to narrate the story of my life in an easy way. Someday, of course, I hope to turn the life story into a film or a mini-series because there's a lot of Greek drama in my story, as you will come to see. So please go ahead and share with me your view. Which scenes do you want to find out more about? Where should I dig deeper? Which part of my story is moving for you? Which part do you relate to? The more feedback you give me, the better the ultimate film of my life will be. I was born on May 22nd, 1968, in Athens, Greece, during an oppressive military dictatorship. When I was only 8 months old, my family was forced to flee the country. We escaped to Montreal, Canada, as political refugees, seeking safety from persecution and torture. From an early age, my parents made sure that, even in exile, we remained connected to our Greek roots. Instead of fairy tales like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty, my bedtime stories were Aesop's fables, the Iliad, and the Odyssey. Through these stories, my imagination was ignited, and a deep love of wisdom, courage, and adventure took root within me. Years later, in my early 20s, I returned to Greece after completing my studies at the Chartered Institute of Bankers in London. I began to work in the corporate finance department at Barclays Bank in Athens. Now, from the outside, my life looked enviable. An executive position, an impressive salary, designer clothes, and glamorous weekends in Mykonos. Inside, however, I was unraveling. Although my true passions were psychology and philosophy, I found myself trapped in a career I had chosen largely to please my father. I ignored my inner calling out of fear, the fear of disappointing him, fear of instability, fear of stepping into the unknown. At night, I lay awake, tormented by obsessive self-sabotaging thoughts. Other people achieve great things because they're better than me. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not smart enough. There's probably something fundamentally wrong with me. I'm just not worthy. Whenever I spoke about leaving banking, my father responded with stern lectures about security and survival. He would remind me of his own trauma, how the Nazis burned his village when he was 15, how he joined the resistance, lived through civil war, torture, and exile. To him, safety was everything. To me, the cost of safety was my soul. I felt trapped in what I can only describe as a golden cage. The frustration turned into depression. I became burned out, unable to focus. An itchy rash spread across my body, as if my inner conflict were demanding to be seen. Then came the moment that changed everything. I was summoned to the bank's headquarters to deliver an important presentation before the board of directors. As I walked into the room, I felt like an imposter. I barely understood the material I was presenting. I rushed through the slides, stumbled over answers, and watched disappointment spread across their faces. I felt humiliated. That same day, I faced my deepest fear and handed in my resignation. Now, did things get better after that? No, they became much worse. When I went to my family home to tell my father I had quit, his rage was explosive. He struck me with a wooden staff and threw me out of the house. As I ran away, shaking, he shouted after me, "Itan iepitas." This is an old ancient Greek motto, meaning return with your shield or on it. In other words, do or die. With no plan and very little money, I packed a knapsack and flew to Istanbul. I traveled east, drawn instinctively to ancient lands and sacred sites like Göbekli Tepe, among others. My intention was to continue on to Persepolis and Babylon. But when I reached the border with Iraq, the first Gulf War erupted.
Skies over Baghdad have been illuminated. We're seeing bright
planes and missiles descended.
And an explosive development near the Persian Gulf. Word that Iraq has invaded neighboring state of Kuwait, with fighting reported along the border. The residents say that they were awakened by machine gun fire and heavy artillery.
Bombings began. Refugees flooded into Turkey. By chance, or perhaps by fate, I met a group of Italians in the lobby of my youth hostel who were returning to Italy. On impulse, I asked them to join. In Rome, my money quickly ran out. I found work as a waitress. My boss began sexually harassing me, but I stayed because I needed the job. The old voices returned, whispering that I had failed, that I should go back to Greece, admit I was wrong, and surrender. Instead, something unexpected happened. In Italy, I discovered the writings of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers. I began practicing meditations daily to calm my anxiety. Long walks through the eternal city, combined with these practices, slowly transformed me. My fear softened. My confidence grew. Gratitude replaced despair. I was becoming free. Then one day, completely out of the blue, a moment of profound synchronicity occurred. On a bus, I struck up a conversation with a woman who worked for a top international training firm. I shared my story. She told me she was leaving her position as a leadership trainer to move to Canada, and she needed an immediate replacement, a native English speaker with corporate experience. If she didn't find someone by the next day, she would face a financial penalty. She looked at me and said, "You're the person I've been looking for." She offered me the job on the spot. My reality changed overnight. I began working for this international training firm, coaching Italian executives on business communication, how to present effectively, negotiate confidently, and work with international clients. I excelled. Soon I was traveling across Europe, coaching top executives and CEOs. My employer even assigned me a chauffeur. For the first time, I was doing work aligned with my talents, values, and inner truth. For the first time, I felt fulfilled. In 2004, marked a year of profound turning point in my life. I sold my shares in a beautiful meditation retreat center, the Academia Helicon, which I had co-founded in the 1990s on the island of Evia with partners from Germany and Scandinavia. That transition provided me with the resources and the inner clarity to move from Berlin back to Greece permanently. I reunited with Dimitris, the man I had dreamed of marrying since I was 16. Soon after, we celebrated what could only be described as a big fat Greek wedding in a beautiful church with over 500 guests and more moussaka than anyone could possibly eat. Life felt generous, aligned, whole. Building an online business for coaching in Greece, however, brought its own formidable challenges. Greek bureaucracy was one. Learning entirely new skills like filming, editing, online marketing was another. There were many moments when the technology felt overwhelming. And yet I was deeply committed to this new way of working and sharing. By 2024, my YouTube channel, Agio TV, Greek Philosophy for Modern Leadership, had reached over 1.6 million viewers. And then life asked something else of me. That same year, after 20 beautiful years of marriage, Dimitris passed away suddenly in November during COVID. The loss of my beloved husband was devastating for me and for our entire family. It felt as though a part of me left this world with him. And yet, even here, something essential revealed itself. You see, dear reader, even when we manifest everything that we ever hoped for, life continues to invite us into deeper layers of growth and transformation. The journey is never a straight line. It is an upward spiral, one that expands our capacity to love, to endure, and to be present. By now, you may have realized that the true aim of our journey is never simply to reach Ithaca. What matters is how the hero's journey shapes us, how it refines our character, deepens our wisdom, and awakens our humanity. So let me map it up for you. What is the hero's journey? The path from the orphan to your true self. We are all strangers in a strange land, longing for home, but not quite knowing what or where home is. We glimpse it sometimes in our dreams. Throughout human history, the orphan has appeared again and again in our stories, from Moses floating in a basket down the Nile, to Harry Potter living under the stairs, to Batman watching his parents die in an alley. They are not just tales of tragedy, they are maps of transformation. The orphan's journey is humanity's journey, a descent into loss, which in Greek is called katavasis, and the climbing towards meaning, a resurrection, in Greek anastasi. The gift is freedom, the ability to reinvent yourself, to choose your family rather than inherit one, to define your own meaning rather than accept what's given. Each of us is called to something greater. Down deep inside, you know this, the whisper you hear, the longing for something more in life. That's not just a dream. It's the call to your very own hero's journey. Just like the Greek heroes, Joseph Campbell, a renowned mythologist, laid out the universal path that heroes take. This path isn't just for legendary figures, it's for you. Yes, you. Life is your adventure, and embracing the hero's journey is how you become the person you were always meant to become, the best version of yourself. It's not easy, but the most meaningful journeys never are. The hero's journey is a roadmap guiding you from where you are to where your soul knows you're meant to be. Combined with the GPS of the Agio method, you'll be unstoppable.